So last few years I had these deck planters strapped to the outside of the deck railing, and it kind of pulled the deck railing out a little bit. There's a black tube in there, ignore that. This year I zip tied them to the inside edge floor level of the deck railing, filled them with plants, and they're doing great because they get very little sun, very little direct sun. They're doing great. There's Kelly's old bird bath base, the new pergola post with the old gazebo. I decided to tuck in around it so I could do staghorn fern. Mary gifted me and some other stuff like fern and things that I can just layer in there. There's more stuff, ferns and things. Amaryllis. There's the orange tree somebody gave me a clipping of a few years ago, and now it's getting big. I was weak and bought a Meyer lemon tree this year. And here's the brown turkey fig. Check these out. I think everything's looking blown out white in the whites because of all the sunshine. Okay, more white butterflies, more right up the yard. Asian pear. See? And there's more in there. Maybe we can't see them. Too many shadows. I think everything's to be out of focus probably. There's bird shit all over that tree now. It's got to get hosed down. Okay, back out to the garden. Walking between two more of the bee and fly swarms. But, oh, there's another black butterfly. Here's a 12-foot by 4-foot raised bed. I'm hoping those are tomatillos on the very end of it that I found volunteering and planted or transplanted into this bed. If not, there's some sort of weed. I'm really thinking they're tomatillos. Can anyone help me out? Does that look like a tomatillo bloom? Or is it a weed? I've got some sweet potato. This is really overcrowded here. Sweet potatoes that I cut from the end of one I ate. And they're growing in there. And then, uh-oh, somebody's wilting. I'm going to get water on here today. There's some squash that I jammed in after. This is all garlic, all since last October. Same with the next bed over. These are acorn squash, which Mary just told me she actually harvested some for CSA customers this week. Which really she shouldn't have done because they're not ready yet. There is a dark one back in there somewhere. There's lots of new ones coming on. More squash. Tuck some eggplants down here that didn't have room anywhere else. There it is. I can't find it now. There's basil. I love the lettuce leaf basil or the monster leaf basil. It's huge. And lemon basil, lime basil, regular basils. There is cutting celery in here, which toughed it out all summer in tiny little 6-packs. I only finally put them in a couple weeks ago, and I think they're going to make it, but I don't know if they'll do very well. Here's the apple tree fence that has had its apple trees replaced this year because they weren't doing well. The bare root ones I got from some small company. These new ones are from Stark Brothers. They leafed out and are doing much better already. This is the junk pile for now. I need to get this cleaned out. And this used to look beautiful with mulch over here and planned flowers, and now it's weeds instead. This bed was also, this one's 8x4, and this was also garlic. And now it's purple nut sedge. Ugh. Ugh. Hate it. And now I've put in all kinds of weird stuff. So there's gourds, pineapple tomatillo I see coming up, green beans. Some of them look like they've got like a blight or something. Thistle shouldn't be there. And over in here, I don't know what kind of grass this is. It's not purple nut sedge. It's something different. Finally, I got cilantro growing and basil and a stray bean seed back in there. This is a forsythia I put in a few years ago, and it got monstrous. So I plant like lettuce back in here sometimes to keep it shaded. So from this corner view, back corner view of the yard, you can see this 8x4 bed with beans and other stuff. You can see the apple tree fence, the pond that is overwhelmed with algae, and if you look back there, you might be able to see in the middle of the pond a crocodile or alligator. There's the bed with the acorn squash and some other stuff. You can see all the hydrangea trees, the beginnings of some more of those half-octagon beds I need to put in, but I might do those this fall and dig up the hydrangea trees. And on the far side are peonies. Peonies can't be planted too deep, so I might have to dig them, fill those half-octagons with fresh soil, then replant the peonies so that way they're not too deep, otherwise they won't bloom. We're not going to talk about the garden part. These tubs are here because I brought home a bunch of horse manure last week, or 2 weeks ago, and I've just finished emptying them. So here's my 12-foot long beds. I'm just trying this gazebo archway thing. Tomatoes, peppers, and kale, and onions, and cucumbers that aren't doing well, and then there's, off in the distance, there's, this does really well back here. The lawn's always lush back here from all the trickle off from the beds. Green beans and parsley and onions, and leeks and okra and eggplants, and tomatoes and onions, and I see more weeds in there. This was me saying if you can't beat them, join them, and I just threw a bunch of cosmos and nasturtium seeds back in here, and there's a volunteer squash of some sort, or gourd, I don't know, I haven't seen anything forming on it yet. But I can hear all these bees and everything buzzing back here. If you've got a fear of flying insects, this would not be your place to be. Leftover radishes. So a few ripening tomatoes so far. This tree has been replaced once already. The grapes all dropped their fruit this year. Maybe next year I'll get some. I keep weed whacking this area. There is a fig here. I'm testing in-ground versus potted. I started getting, what's that spiny leaf stuff called? I forget now. Stinging nettle. I keep getting that back in here for some reason. Lemon balm, more grapes, a red bud that doesn't bloom. Maybe it's because it's out in full sun. This butterfly bush is already wilting from the dryness. Another Asian pear tree. There's cherry trees off in the distance. There is a pear or a peach tree over there. And we're back around to the front. I think this is it. So now you know what the garden looks like, Kelly. There you go.